This is Jeff Hamrick at Rhodes College again, and I'm going to talk with you for a few minutes about creating a collection in Fathom and then populating that collection with dichotomous by dichotomous data. This type of activity is basically what we've been doing over the past week in Math 111, the first week of class. So again, to create a blank collection of data in Fathom, go up to the collection icon in the left-hand corner right here and drag down a version of it onto the blank working space of the Fathom workbook. There's nothing in it right now, and you can tell that by the fact that there are no yellow balls in this collection, in this box. To rename the collection, double-click with the left click of the mouse button and give the collection a name. I'm going to call this collection Nicholas Data, because Nicholas is the first name of the French psychologist who conducted the study whose data we've been analyzing over the past week or so. I'll press OK and set the name for that, and I'll then drag down a table while this box, this empty box, has the blue boundary around it. So that table will then be linked to this box, and of course it's empty right now because there's no data in the box. There are no yellow balls inside of the box. So I'm going to create two attributes that represent the independent variable and the response variable that we've been discussing related to Nicholas's study. The first attribute I'm going to call smiled or not. Okay, and I'm going to use this attribute field to indicate whether or not the woman who walked into the bar smiled at the male subject of the study or whether or not she just glanced at him. I can't see the entire name of this attribute right now, so to right size it, I'm going to double click on this boundary. Now it's right sized. I'm going to give this column an attribute name as well. I'm going to call this approached or not. Okay. Again, it doesn't really matter how you type these attribute names in Fathom as long as you then use those consistently. Okay, so I can now populate these entries one row at a time. Each row will correspond to a subject in the study or a run of the study involving the woman and a different male subject. Recall with me that we had three instances in which the female smiled at the male at the bar, and he did not approach her, he ignored her. So I'm going to create three rows on which we have smiled. The woman smiled at the male subject, but he ignored her. So we had three cases of this, and notice how Fathom begins labeling each case in the collection. Okay. Okay, recall as well that we had 8 cases in which the woman only looked at the male, and he also ignored her. So I'm going to take this ignored field, I'm going to press Control-C, and I'm going to copy it over 8 times. This is not actually a great way to populate a collection in Fathom, but this collection is pretty small, so the harm done is minimal. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here I'm going to put looked only. Okay, and I'm going to use Control-C and Control-V to quickly fill in the remainder of these cases. We had two other cases, the cases in which the woman smiled at the male patron and he approached her. We had 7 instances that matched this particular pattern, so I'm going to copy this over 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. One other case remains, the case in which the woman looked only. We had only 2 of these cases, and the male approached her anyway. It's a pretty bold guy. So I'm going to copy this over just once because we had only 2 of those cases for a total of 20 trials of this particular experiment. So now we have a populated collection. There are 20 cases, 2 attributes. Because both of these attributes are binary, they're like light switches, this is a dichotomous by dichotomous data set. And that, my friends, is how you create a collection in Fathom and populate it with dichotomous by dichotomous data.